Is depression in your genes? Discover the truth behind its inheritance. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Zaki, and today we're diving into a topic that's been on a lot of minds lately. Is depression in your genes? Discover the truth behind its inheritance. We've all heard that depression runs in families, but is that really true? And if so, how does it work? Well, today I'm going to break it all down for you. So let's get started. All right, first off, let's address the elephant in the room. Depression is a tough topic to talk about, and many of us have either experienced it ourselves or know someone who has. But here's the thing. Depression isn't just something that happens out of nowhere. It's not just about feeling sad or stressed. It's a real medical condition that can affect anyone, no matter their age or background. We're not talking about the everyday bad days we all experience. Depression goes much deeper. It affects your mood, your thoughts, and even your physical health. You might feel completely overwhelmed, hopeless, and disconnected from life. And sometimes, it's not even about any single thing going wrong in your life. It's more of an internal battle with your brain chemistry. So, before we jump into the big question of whether depression can be inherited, let's first talk about what depression really is. Major depressive disorder, or MDD, is a medical condition that affects your mind and body in multiple ways. The symptoms go far beyond just feeling down. You might find yourself losing interest in things you once loved, feeling hopeless, or even struggling to get out of bed in the morning. It can also come with physical symptoms, like changes in sleep patterns, appetite, and energy levels. In some cases, people even experience physical aches and pains, like headaches or muscle soreness. For many, depression can become so severe that it affects work, school, and personal relationships. It's not just a temporary emotional response. Depression can persist for weeks, months, or even years if left untreated. Now that we understand what depression is, let's get into the question we're all wondering. Is depression in your genes? Well, the short answer is yes. Depression can run in families, and research suggests that genetics play a significant role in the risk of developing depression. But here's the thing. Depression doesn't just run in families because of a single gene. It's more about the genetic makeup and how those genes interact with the environment. So, if you have a family member who has depression, your risk of developing it could be higher. But that doesn't mean it's a certainty. Studies have shown that if a parent or sibling has depression, the likelihood of developing it increases. In fact, if both parents have depression, the risk for their children can be significantly higher. But it's not just a genetic lottery. Researchers believe that depression is influenced by a combination of genetic factors, life experiences, and environmental influences. It's kind of like a recipe. Genetics provide some of the ingredients, but it's the environment and life experiences that determine how those ingredients come together. So, what exactly are we talking about when we say genetics? What genes are involved in depression? Well, here's where things get a little complex. There isn't just one gene that's responsible for depression. Instead, it's believed that several genes, each with small effect, may increase the risk of developing depression when combined with certain environmental factors. Some of these genes are related to neurotransmitters, those brain chemicals that regulate your mood, like serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. When these neurotransmitters are out of balance, it can lead to mood disorders like depression. So, if you have a genetic predisposition that affects how your brain processes these chemicals, you may be more likely to develop depression. However, genetics alone don't tell the whole story. While some people may inherit a genetic risk, it's the combination of genetic factors and life experiences that really determine whether or not someone develops depression. For instance, if someone with a genetic predisposition to depression faces major stress or trauma in their life, like a loss of a loved one or a serious illness, they may be more likely to experience depression. But that doesn't mean everyone with a genetic risk will develop depression. It just means that stress, trauma, and other life events could act as triggers. Let's not forget about the environment. While genetics can increase the risk, it's often environmental factors, like stress, trauma, and major life changes, that tip the balance toward depression. These factors are often what push people who might be genetically predisposed into experiencing depression. For example, if you've had a difficult childhood, experienced abuse, or faced ongoing financial difficulties. Those factors can significantly increase your likelihood of developing depression. But if you come from a family with depression but had a relatively stable and supportive upbringing, you might never experience it. Stressful life events can act as triggers. Imagine having a parent with depression. This can influence how you manage stress and emotions. You might grow up learning that expressing your feelings or seeking help isn't okay. These learned behaviors can make it harder to cope when things get tough and ultimately increase the risk of developing depression yourself. But here's the hopeful part. This also means that you can break the cycle with the right support. You can learn healthier coping strategies, seek professional help, and ultimately change the course of your mental health. Let's take a closer look at what happens in families. We know that depression often runs in families, but it's not just about genetics. It's also about the shared experiences and environment. For example, if a parent struggles with untreated depression, their children might grow up thinking that depression is something you just have to live with. This can make them more likely to avoid seeking help when they need it. But here's the good news. Breaking the stigma around mental health and talking openly about depression can help future generations avoid the same struggles. Parents who seek treatment for their depression provide a powerful model for their children about how to deal with mental health issues. Okay, so now we know that depression can be inherited, but it's not a foregone conclusion. What can you do about it? The most important thing is to take care of your mental health. If you have a family history of depression, you might want to be more proactive about managing your mental health. First off, therapy and counseling can help you learn strategies for coping with stress and emotions. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, has been shown to be especially effective for people with depression. It teaches you how to change negative thought patterns and behaviors. Taking care of yourself physically can also make a difference. Regular exercise, healthy eating, and good sleep hygiene can all help regulate mood and lower the risk of depression. Practicing mindfulness or meditation can also help you manage stress and stay grounded, especially if you know you're more prone to depression. And lastly, don't hesitate to seek professional help. If you're feeling down or overwhelmed, talking to a therapist can make a huge difference. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. All right, folks, that's all for today's video. I hope this helped shed some light on the topic of inherited depression. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And hey, share this video with anyone who might benefit from it. You can join our community over at Zakaprat for more videos on mental health, self-care, and all things wellness. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.